we're ranking the 10 most unreliable and surprisingly overhyped TV brands you'll find on shelves in 2025. From bargain bin models that barely survive a year to legacy names trading on nostalgia instead of quality, this countdown exposes which brands drain your money, time, and patience, and which ones actually deliver on value. Odds are, some of these names will surprise you. Ready to avoid a costly mistake? Let's kick off the list with number 10. Element On and Westinghouse lure shoppers with giant screens and price tags under $400. But the bargain ends there. These sets are everywhere. Walmart aisles, Amazon's best-seller lists. Yet their track record is a minefield of early failures and buyer regret. Consumer reports and high-traffic Reddit threads tell the same story. Screens going dark within months, ghosting that makes sports and gaming unwatchable, and apps freezing until a power cycle is the only fix. Many owners report their TV didn't even last 2 years, with some units failing in less than 12 months. Panel quality is a gamble. 2 TVs with the same model number can look completely different thanks to inconsistent sourcing and minimal quality control. Firmware support is non-existent, leaving bugs and security holes untouched. When things go wrong, support options vanish fast. High return rates and verified reviews paint a clear picture. What looks like a deal at checkout quickly turns into a costly hassle. For anyone hoping to avoid repeat trips to the return counter, these ultra-budget brands are the definition of false economy. Insignia TVs look like a safe bet. Best Buy's own brand, modern design, and the promise of built-in Fire TV smarts. But a closer look reveals a pattern of headaches that starts long before the warranty runs out. Owners report the Fire TV interface crawling to a halt after just a few months, with apps stuttering and menus lagging behind button presses. Dead HDMI ports are a common complaint, often leaving users scrambling for workarounds or facing a trip back to the store. Many Insignia sets don't make it past the first year without some kind of hardware failure. Screen lines, random shutdowns, or remotes that stop responding altogether. Best Buy's return counter has heard it all. TVs that won't power on after a software update, or units that freeze so often they're only good for background noise in a dorm. For a guest room or a short-term rental, Insignia might pass. For daily living room use, the low price tag masks a real risk, trading reliability for convenience and often ending up with neither. RCA and JVC are names that once meant something in American living rooms. Today, buying one of their TVs is like rolling the dice. These brands don't actually build most of the sets you see on store shelves. Instead, their logos are licensed out to a rotating cast of third-party manufacturers, each with their own factories and standards. That means one RCA or JVC model might come from a plant in China, another from Turkey, and the next from a completely different supplier, sometimes within the same year. Specs and performance can swing wildly, even for TVs with identical model numbers. It's not uncommon to hear about one unit with halfway decent color, while the next suffers from washed-out reds and motion blur that turns action scenes into a smeary mess. Firmware updates are basically non-existent. If something goes wrong, the warranty process turns into a headache. The seller blames the manufacturer points back to the retailer, and the consumer is left stuck in the middle. Classic warranty ping pong. For buyers drawn in by nostalgia, these TVs rarely deliver the quality their names once promised. The risk of ending up with a dud is simply too high, and support is often nowhere to be found. Philips is a name that still carries weight in Europe, but in the US, the story is different. Here, Philips TVs are licensed to Funai, and the results often fall short of expectations. The Ambilight feature stands out immediately. Soft, glowing light that matches the colors on screen. It's a living room showpiece, no doubt. But beneath that striking design, performance struggles to keep up. US models are built with underpowered processors, and it shows. Navigating menus can feel sluggish and streaming apps sometimes stutter or freeze. HDR, which should make movies pop with brightness and depth, often looks muted and flat. Lab tests confirm what many owners notice. Peak HDR brightness is well below what's advertised, making dark scenes hard to watch in daylight. Updates come sporadically, if at all, leaving bugs and compatibility issues unresolved for months. Ambilight might draw you in, but it can't mask the reality of inconsistent quality control and hardware that's simply outgunned by the competition. For buyers who value looks over substance, Philips offers a tempting package. For anyone who cares about smooth performance and reliable picture quality, the trade-offs are hard to ignore. It's a brand caught between its reputation and its reality. A confusing identity that leaves many owners underwhelmed. Vizio once rewrote the rulebook for affordable TVs, offering picture quality that punched above its price and a feature set that rivaled more expensive brands. But in 2025, the story is very different. Reliability issues now overshadow the value Vizio built its name on. SmartCast, their proprietary operating system, is a frequent source of frustration. Random reboots, frozen screens, and sluggish app launches are routine complaints. Owner forums and Consumer Reports data both point to a troubling trend. About 1 in 5 Vizio TVs won't make it 5 years, a rate that cost the brand its recommended status. HDMI ports are another sore spot, with users reporting dropped connections or entire ports that stop working after a year or two. Power board failures, where the TV simply won't turn on, have become so common that independent repair shops keep extra Vizio parts on hand. Even the higher-end P-Series, praised for its color and contrast, isn't immune to these problems. Some buyers still land a solid set, but the odds are slipping. For every glowing review, there's a story of a TV that died just out of warranty. Ads now crowd the SmartCast interface, adding insult to injury for those just hoping for a smooth streaming experience. Vizio's fall from grace is a warning. A brand that once stood for smart spending now carries too much risk. What was once a safe bet for value hunters has become an unreliable gamble. Hisense has become the wild card of the TV world, offering a spec sheet that reads like a premium brand, but with a reliability record that keeps buyers guessing. The 2025 U8N and U7N models grab attention for all the right reasons: mini LED backlighting, Dolby Vision support, and refresh rates that make them a strong pick for gamers. Arting's lab tests put peak brightness well above most competitors in the same price range, and input lag numbers are low enough for even demanding console players. But owning a Hisense is often a roll of the dice. Reddit threads and owner reviews are filled with stories of panel failures, backlight issues, and TVs stuck in endless firmware reset loops. Some sets run flawlessly for years, while others develop vertical lines or go dark within 18 months. Firmware updates can fix bugs or introduce new ones, leaving some users frustrated by inconsistent support. The panel lottery is real. 2 U8Ns bought on the same day can look and perform differently, depending on which supplier provided the screen. For those who land a good unit, the value is undeniable. High-end features at a mid-tier price. But the risk of getting a lemon is higher than with most established brands. Hisense sits at the crossroads of ambition and unpredictability, making it a tempting but risky choice for shoppers who want the most bang for their buck. TCL's QM7 and QM8 models have become the go-to choice for shoppers chasing premium specs at a mid-range price. These sets deliver true mini LED backlighting, hitting peak brightness levels that outshine most competitors in the same price bracket. Color volume and HDR performance regularly impress in Arting's lab tests, with the QM8 pushing well past 2,000 nits in real-world scenes. For gamers, HDMI 2.1 ports and low input lag make these models a strong pick, especially for next-gen consoles. But the promise of high-end features comes with a catch: the notorious quality lottery. Buyers report frequent issues with dead pixels and the dreaded dirty screen effect, where uneven gray backgrounds and vertical banding ruin sports and gaming. This isn't just anecdotal. User surveys and teardown threads trace these problems back to panel sourcing from CSOT and BOE, with some batches showing defect rates several times higher than flagship brands. The risk isn't limited to entry-level models. QM7 and QM8 units can vary widely in uniformity and reliability, depending on which factory supplied the panel that week. Google TV's operating system, while packed with features, is often bloated and slow to update, leaving some users frustrated by lag and app crashes. TCL also faced a class action lawsuit over past QLED marketing claims, adding another layer of caution for buyers who want truth in advertising. For those willing to do their homework and stick to mid or upper tier models, TCL offers real value. But the panel lottery is real, and buyers should be prepared to exchange or return units if early defects appear. The appeal of high specs for less is strong, but it pays to research serial numbers, check for visible flaws on day one, and avoid the lowest tier SKUs. TCL sits at the top of the value segment, a tempting choice for the savvy, but not a brand for those who want guaranteed consistency out of the box. Panasonic and Sharp occupy a quiet corner of the television world, defined less by hype and more by the steady confidence of old-school engineering. Panasonic, once synonymous with high-end plasma and OLED, has become a rarity in the United States. Fewer than 1,000 new Panasonic TVs are sold here each year, almost exclusively through specialty importers. Those who manage to secure a European or Asian Panasonic OLED find themselves with a set prized for its color accuracy, panel longevity, and a reputation for resisting burn-in. International surveys consistently rank Panasonic among the most reliable brands, with failure rates below 5% after 3 years and impressive consistency from unit to unit. Yet, for American buyers, these sets remain elusive, and support is nearly impossible to secure. Replacement parts are scarce, and repair networks are thin, making ownership a commitment few are willing to risk. Sharp's story is quieter, but more accessible. While the Sharp name still appears on shelves at major retailers, most models are now produced by Foxconn, not the original Japanese firm. What remains is a focus on sturdy hardware and basic features. Consumer Reports places Sharp's 3-year failure rate between 11 and 14%, outperforming RCA, JVC, and Vizio, though not quite matching the premium leaders. The operating system feels dated, with slow updates, but the core electronics endure. Independent repair shops note that Sharp models are easier to service, with parts available longer than most mid-tier brands. Warranty claims are typically resolved within weeks, and major recalls are rare. For those who value durability and repairability over the latest features, Panasonic and Sharp offer a kind of reassurance that's hard to find, if you can track one down. Sony's reputation in the TV world stands on a foundation of precision and trust, built over decades and reinforced by the numbers. In 2025, Sony continues to define what premium actually means, not just with price tags, but with performance that justifies every dollar. The Cognitive XR processor is the centerpiece, using real-time analysis to deliver color accuracy and motion clarity that lab tests and home viewers both rave about. Action scenes stay crisp, with no trace of the blur or stutter that plagues lesser brands. HDR tone mapping is handled with surgical precision, pulling out detail in the brightest highlights and deepest shadows, even in challenging scenes. Gamers find a natural home here, especially with the seamless integration for PlayStation 5. Input lag is kept to a minimum, and HDMI 2.1 features work out of the box. No hunting through menus or waiting for a firmware fix. The result is a set that just works, whether it's movie night or a marathon gaming session. Sony's reliability data backs up the experience. Only about 11% of their TVs see a major failure within 5 years, one of the lowest rates in the industry according to Consumer Reports. That means fewer trips to the repair shop, less time on hold with customer service, and more time actually enjoying the screen. Owners often describe their Sony sets as investments, not just purchases. Build quality feels a cut above. Solid frames, stable stands, and panels that resist the uniformity issues common elsewhere. The user interface is polished and responsive, with regular updates that add features instead of bugs. For those who demand accuracy, consistency, and peace of mind, Sony's approach is simple. Deliver a cinematic experience that lasts. In a market full of marketing promises and panel lotteries, Sony's blend of engineering and reliability puts it near the top, just shy of the OLED innovator that claims the #1 spot. LG's position at the top of the ranking is no accident. For nearly a decade, LG has defined what OLED means for everyday viewers, combining deep blacks, vivid color, and a cinematic look that cheaper panels can't match. The 2025 C4 and G4 models take that legacy further, with peak brightness levels that finally rival the best LCDs. Arting's lab tests show these sets pushing well past 1,000 nits in real-world scenes, making daytime viewing and HDR content stand out in a way that was once impossible for OLED. The new panels are also engineered to resist burn-in, using advanced compensation algorithms and pixel shifting routines. For gamers, LG's HDMI 2.1 support, low input lag, and full suite of VRR features mean there's no compromise. Next-gen consoles and high-end PCs get the smoothest possible experience. WebOS, LG's smart platform, has matured into one of the fastest and most flexible in the business. App selection is broad, navigation is snappy, and regular firmware updates keep features fresh. While some owners grumble about ad banners, the overall polish and reliability of WebOS stand out compared to the lag and clutter found on many competitors. LG's track record for pushing updates, even to models several years old, offers peace of mind for buyers who want their TV to stay current. HDR support is another area where LG simply outclasses most rivals. Dolby Vision, HDR10, HLG. Every major format is supported, so you're not locked out of premium content from Netflix, Disney Plus, or Apple TV. The C4 and G4's improved processing pulls subtle detail from both the brightest highlights and the darkest shadows, with color accuracy that remains a reference point for the industry. Behind the scenes, LG displays control over its own panel manufacturing means tighter quality control and less panel lottery risk. Reviewers and owner forums report consistently excellent uniformity and minimal defect rates, even as other brands struggle with banding, dead pixels, or uneven screens. Warranty support is strong, with authorized repair centers available nationwide and a history of honoring claims promptly. For buyers who want a TV that just works and keeps working, LG's blend of innovation, reliability, and long-term value is hard to beat. Spending more upfront delivers years of worry-free viewing, whether you're watching movies, gaming, or streaming with family. In a market full of shortcuts and compromises, LG's OLEDs are proof that investing in quality pays off every single day. From the bargain bin mirage of Element on and Westinghouse at the bottom, to LG's OLED innovation at the very top, this countdown exposed the real story behind 2025's most recognizable TV brands. The most shocking entries revealed just how quickly low prices can turn into high frustration, frequent failures, no updates, and support that vanishes when you need it most. Across all 10 brands, a clear pattern emerged. Legacy names like RCA and Philips now hide behind licensing deals, while even former heroes like Vizio have fallen prey to software and hardware issues. Meanwhile, brands like TCL and Hisense offer tempting specs, but it's still a panel lottery. In the end, the brands ranked highest, Panasonic, Sharp, Sony, and LG, earned their spots with proven reliability, strong picture quality, and real support. The big takeaway: when it comes to TVs, consistency and long-term value matter more than flashy marketing or rock-bottom prices. Spend a bit more upfront, and you'll save years of hassle and actually enjoy what you watch.